What's up, horse racing fans? Welcome to another episode of the Inside Post. Here we are with the Florida Derby for Kentucky Derby points on April 1st, 2023 at Gulfstream Park. We will be handicapping races 5 through 13, finishing off with the Florida Derby, giving you our top picks, our next up contender, and our long shot plays for each race. Kicking things off, we have race 5 going a mile and a half on the turf for 4-year-olds and up the Pan American Grade 2 Stakes. Our top pick will be Masterpiece in here, 7-5 for Joseph Safi Joseph, and Jose Ortiz. So far in 2023 has struggled a little bit with 2 starts, no wins for those 2 outings. However, I think the class is definitely something to consider, and just the amount or the matter of the field that this horse has been running in. Finished 7th in the Pacific West or the Pacific Turf Classic at Gulfstream Park, beat out by Atone and Ivar. Comes back in the Grade 2 Stakes race at Gulfstream Park back on March 4th and finishes 3rd. So seems to be getting a little bit better, getting that stride back under itself to see making the 3rd start for this trainer. Top pick just because I don't see much anything else in here. I do go 4 deep, but I think that horse is the one to beat. Next, I'm going a little bit deeper with 8-1 in Therapist for Mike Maker and Arad Ortiz. Won last time out. It was just a simple $35,000. So definitely stepping way, way up in class here for a graded stakes race. Has not ran in a graded stakes race since 2021. So trying to get back into things here. Mike Maker feels that this could be a good place for Therapist. Pretty decent speed figures, consistent speed figures, really hasn't dipped at all below. Seems to be running pretty consistently. However, probably ran its best speed figures back in 2022. So hopefully it's kind of getting back into that shape or that form that it was in previously. Third pick, somewhere in here, a Bon. 5-1 with Todd Pletcher. Joel gets the mount here, not having the mount on this horse in any of the previous starts. Has ran in some big graded stakes races. Also was beat out in the Belmont Gold Cup by Loft. Has been beat in the Man of War by Highland Chief. The Pan American by Gufo. Did William McKnight, however, at Gulfstream Park, going a mile and a half. And the Allen Jurgens Handicap, which was not a graded stakes race, but it's still a pretty big race. Past 3 starts has been the post time favorite. Ran again in the William McKnight Grade 3 Stakes race and was beat out by Red Knight and Value Engineering. And also Wicked Fast, who was in here and is our other pick. Going to the inside, you do have Wicked Fast, who is that indeed really fast. However, kind of struggled in 2022 with only 1 win. Struggles have continued here in 2023. Last time out was 15-1. The time before that, 45-1. So this is unique as it's getting a 4-1 on its odds coming in. I just think the class isn't in here compared to what it's usually running in. But I think it's definitely going to have to take a step forward to run with some of these other big horses in here. Race 6, we did not handicap this maiden special race for the video, but make sure you check out the link down below and we will have it for you. Just time restraints and whatnot, we kind of skip to the stakes races or start to the stakes races for the card that kind of leads up to the pick 5s, ending with the Florida Derby. So here we go, race 7, mile and a 16th for 4-year-olds, the Ghost Zapper Grade 3 stakes race. On the dirt, our top pick will be First Captain, Claude McGahee and Luis Saez, making its first start in 2023. Was 6'2", 1 and 1 in 2022. Career best 109 speed figure in 2022. So looks to be looking for that form that it was in. Last time out in the Fayette Grade 2 Stakes race at Keeneland, was post time favorite and was disappointed. Just had no response, nothing left in the tank or nothing in the tank whatsoever, and finished fifth, beat out by West Will Power and Folsom and Last Samurai in that one. However, if you look back a little bit further, back in September, July, over the summer, the horse did really well running in the Jockey Club Grade 1, finishing third, the Suburban Grade 2, finishing second, and won the Pimlico Special Grade 3 Stakes race um, back all the way in May. So that's kind of what this form is, or what the horse is capable of being in form. If it's kind of gearing up to have that run again as it's had in the past summer, that's what we are looking for out of First Captain in here, trying to get things started um, for Cloud McGahee and West Point Thoroughbreds and Luis Saez back aboard this one. Second pick, we have Simplification. Um, I was big on this horse in the Kentucky Derby and some of the prep races that this horse ran in last year. I really liked it once it came out of the Fountain of Youth. However, kind of got beat by White Abario in the Florida Derby, and then was a big price horse in the Kentucky Derby and just did not do much. Actually finished fourth, but right out of the money. So far in 2023, two starts, was beat in the World Cup, or the Pegasus World Cup at Gulfstream Park. Finished a bad 10th in there. Comes back in the Gulfstream or the Gulfstream Park Mile, a Grade 2 Stakes race, and finished third. So seems to be running a little bit better, getting its legs back under it after coming out of the Pegasus. And I think this race will definitely set up for him in here. Has pretty good speed figures. One of the top speed horses coming in, kind of likes to lay off a little bit, sit mid pack, and then kind of make that late run coming into the final turn. Third, going with O'Connor for Safi Joseph, Arad Ortiz. One start so far this year, and that was in the Pegasus World Cup, finishing 11th, just behind Simplification, and just did not have anything whatsoever at all. However, looking back, has ran in some stakes races, and I believe this is Chile, looking to kind of get things kick started over here in the States. Came over, ran in the Harlan's Holiday Grade 3, finished fourth. They thought, why not? Let's try it in the Pegasus, and flattened out completely. So looking to get back to what this horse they believe is capable of, what it's done in Chile. So here we are seeing what O'Connor can do in the States. Small field, didn't even put a long shot pick in here, going with probably two horses, Simplification and First Captain. Race 8, going a mile and a half on the turf for fillies and mares. The Orchard Stakes, a Grade 3 stakes race. Whoops. Top pick, going to be Amazing Grace. A German bred horse that is getting her first start in 2023. 15-4-4 and 5 lifetime. So a pretty good lifetime record of hitting the board or being in the money. Looking at her past stats, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 races that she has been in the money. However, this is her first start, I do believe, in the state, so we will see what she can do once these horses come over after running in Germany, France, Italy. They seem to do really well and take to this turf. However, the Gulfstream Park turf has kind of looked a little iffy the past few days, or at least the last time that I seen it on TV. So it'll be definitely interesting to see what these European horses do, because they usually like that thicker, heavier, um, turf, that yielding style turf. And here, I don't believe they're going to get it. So definitely going to favor the speed. If this horse has speed, it could benefit well from that type of turf. Second pick, going with personal best, Irad Ortiz and Claude McGahee. Um, really like this horse last time out in the La Prevoyant, a grade 3 at Gulfstream Park, and then in the Oaks at Gulfstream Park as well. Finished, however, third, but was definitely post time favorite. The horse has been the favorite in his last 5 starts. However, um, winning 2 of those, or actually winning 3 of those, and then finishing the second and a third. Kind of sticks with the class of the grade 3. Um, the connections think that this horse is ready to make a good run for those graded stakes races over the summer. And I believe that this is a good fit for personal best in here. Love it out of Tappet, a big gray horse. So one to easily spot and easily to watch around the track. Third pick, going with Transient. Safi Joseph with Edgar Zayas in here, has ran against my personal best, finished second to personal best in the La Prevoyant, finished second in there. Was kind of beaten, um, I guess, by a few lengths going away on the Gulfstream Park turf back in January. Comes back in the very one, a grade 3, and finishes third, beaten out by My Lady and Higher Truth. Ran into some trouble there as well. So I think if a clean trip, Transient should be there at the end, and definitely one to give my top pick, Amazing Grace, a run. Long shot going with Miss Yearwood. I forgot to put the odds on this one. I believe it was 10 to 1 or 15 to 1, for Ian Wilkes and Chris Landeros. Just been in the money, 9-2-2-2 in its career. However, the Honey Fox last time out, one race to just toss out, finished ninth, had no threat, going a mile. So hopefully the little added distance will help her in here. Um, it seems to favor that mile and 16th, mile and an eighth. So the mile and a half should set up fairly well, and a horse to use for underneath, exactas, trifectas, whatever type of wagering style that you are comfortable with. Race 9, we're going 7 furlongs for 4-year-olds. The Sir Shackleton Stakes, a non-graded stakes race in here. Top pick, I'm going big. 15 to 1, we're going with Octane. However, looking back, Gulfstream Park Mile, grade 2, the horse finished 6th, was beat out by Endorsed, Charge It, Simplification, big horses that usually or most likely run speed. They won a mile, was beat out, but Octane got the early lead. So if I'm expecting Octane to go to the lead, or I'm hoping Octane can get the lead, I think this horse can wire the field if it can get to the lead. I think it has the speed. Um, Looking back at Tampa in $100,000 stakes race, the horse got to the lead, breaking from, I believe, post 1 or post 4, and was able to wire the field and held any upcomers or any horses that were trying to challenge it. However, this horse is going to be at a big price. I'm going to expect probably 20 to 1 by the time post goes off. So definitely one that I am going to be rooting or cheering for coming in. Posted a pretty good workout back on March 25th. So one that I'm using as my long shot top pick in here. Second, I'm going with Collaborate to the outside for Jose D'Angelo and Javier Castellano. Um, three in 3 of its last starts, it's got 2 wins. Was beat out in a allowance conditional for 62,000 by Widebario and Wayburn, who is also in here. Finished third in that race. Just kind of didn't have that, um, I guess, late speed that it kind of was used to having in the other race previously, the claiming race. So interesting to see what Collaborate does. I think will be close to favorite or post time favorite coming in. Definitely going to take a little step forward, or going to need to take a step forward to get back in that form of its stakes races that it ran in this time last year. Um, Definitely has the speed, probably one of the top speed runners in here. Um, and probably one that I will definitely use with my long shot pick in Octane. Third pick, Wayburn, another one that'll probably be post time favorite, just because of that last outing, ran second to White Barrio in that allowance race. But going back, ran in Woodbine, the King Edward, the grade two, finished sixth. So has some graded stakes races, grade two stakes races. Um, under its belt. If it can get back to when it was on the Kentucky Derby Trail and winning the Gotham at a big price of 46 to 1, then this race sets up pretty good for Wayburn. Kind of cuts back in here, going back to the 7 furlongs. I think that's where this horse should be better at instead of going a mile. Um, ran a mile or ran 7 furlongs last time out, so I think it's going to appreciate that shorter distance again. And I'm probably going to use my prankster with Todd Pletcher and Luis Saez in here. Just a horse that's coming out of the Amsterdam, finishing fifth. Ran in the Pat Day Mile, ran in the Lafayette, and ran in the Swale, all graded stakes races minus the Lafayette, and did fairly well. Second and third in the Maxfield and the Pat Day Mile, was beat out by Jack Christopher, who is all about speed. Um, and then winning the Swale, beating out Dean Delivers, who was another horse in here. Um, but really looking at the Maxfield, the $160,000 race that it ran in at Churchill, posting its career best speed figure. Um, I think this race will kind of set up this horse's big 2023 summer that it could have, and possibly set itself up to run on Kentucky Derby Day in one of the races on the undercard. But I like my Octane, my 15 to 1 top pick in here. Like I said, needs to get out of the gate quick, has enough speed to wire the field. Race 10, mile and a 16th on the turf for fillies and mares, the Sand Springs Stakes. A pretty good betting race. And here I'm going top pick market segmentation with Chad Brown and Arad Ortiz. I know 2 to 1, not much of a price in here, but this horse really looks pretty good. 4 starts, really hasn't done anything wrong, has 2 wins, 1 second, and 1 third. However, last time out in the Endeavor was beaten by surprisingly, and Scottish Star finished third, had Sammy Camacho aboard, um, kind of just got caught late, and then was ran down and passed for second, or passed for third as it was finishing the stretch run. I think with a rat aboard, he's been on this horse before and he has 2 wins on it. I think he's going to know how to maneuver it and know that this horse wants where this horse wants to sit compared to some of the other competition. Definitely going to sit probably just off the pace, and look to make that late rally. Second pick, going with a long shot here. This will be my long shot pick as well, with Mark Cassie and Patrick Husbands. Lifetime 8-5 for super hoity toity. Out of Uncle Mo, this filly has ran really, really good in her last 4 starts. Finished first in the Celine grade 3 at Woodbine. I believe it was the Ontario Collection grade 3 at Woodbine, the Duchess, which was not a grade 3 but 125,000, and the Damson 125,000. Finished first in 3 of those, and a second in one of those. Was post time favorite in that last outing, posted her career best 97 speed figure, has pretty good works under her belt, and looks really, really good coming in here, and a decent price of 12 to 1. I feel like this horse is going to stay close to that, or even is going to drop a little bit to the single digits come post time. Just when people start seeing those past performances, they see the speed, they see those last 4 starts, and they see that they're shipping in from Woodbine, which Woodbine shippers have done really well so far in 2023. This horse could drop a little bit in her odds. Third pick, going with Jalza, the Irish bred, coming in, making her first start in the States after running in a grade 3 stakes race in France, and then a stakes race in France the time before that, winning that race here. Grand Motion knows how to train these horses from overseas, bringing them over into stakes races, gets Joao Rosario aboard here. Um, Toronado is the sire, the dam being out of Galileo. So 1, 2 that has the pedigree for this type of race. Should be interesting to see. Owned by Al Shakab Racing. So they know a thing or two about owning racehorses. Um, so we shall see what this horse can do. Joel Rosario usually does really well on turf. So we can see that this horse should make a big run. Another one to maybe consider would be Love in the Air on the inside at 6-1. If it can get back to those two stakes races that it had in August and September, winning those, the Plum Pretty and the Miss Penny at Parks, um, could set up for a decent run in here. Race 11, we have the Sable Island Stakes for fillies that are 3 years old. We're going 7.5 furlongs on the turf at Gulfstream. Top pick going to be Love Appeals, 3-1 with Christophe Clement and Joel. First start broke its maiden in an $84,000 race at Gulfstream on the turf. Posted an 89 speed figure. Looked to do it sitting mid pack. And I think kind of will set up the same way in here. Does come off of Lasix, however, but I still think this horse will be really, really good and should run really well. Next, second pick going to her inside and Miss Astor, looking at Lucky Philly for Jonathan Thomas and Luis Saez. Another one that's coming off a win, breaking her maiden in an $84,000 race. Again at Gulfstream, however, going a mile in the 16th. This going back, she's shortening up to a 7.5 furlongs. So definitely taking the cutback and one to consider on her cutback. Sorry, second pick will be Aunt Shirley. I said third on the last one. Todd Pletcher going 6 odds of 6-1 on the morning line for Irad Ortiz. Kind of flunked last time out in the Spinaway, a grade 1 stakes race. It was 10-1. Just did not have anything for those top competitors whatsoever. Didn't really have any much, kind of came out, and that's where she finished, where she came out of the gate. But I think definitely one that can do better was trained by Rudolph. So Todd gets this one as first time trained. Has been putting in some pretty good works. Todd Pletcher knows a thing or two. So definitely one to circle and to watch where these odds kind of go come post time. And my long shot going with Lady Hamilton, Safi Joseph, and Edgar Sayas team up 2 for 2 so far in 2023. However, ran in only $35,000 maidens or special claiming races or optional claiming races. And here posted some decent speed figures, nothing too crazy or nothing really highly touted compared to the top pick. But one to consider out of Lord Nelson, owned by Peachtree Stables. Again, one that's in good form, coming off 2 wins already so far in 2023, has ran on the Gulfstream turf at both distances, going 7.5 and going a mile in the 16th. So kind of cutting back again. So we shall see if the cutback favors this horse in here. Race 12, we have the Gulfstream Park Oaks, presented by FanDuel, grade 2 stakes race, going a mile in the 16th for Kentucky Oaks points. Top pick going with Miracle. Todd Pletcher, Rad Ortiz. It's kind of their home track, if you would, at Gulfstream Park. I think these two are going to have a pretty good day and going to be tough to beat today. Last time out, Rachel Alexander was beat out by Pretty Mischievous. But posted a pretty good speed figure, and the speed figures have been improving. So I think Miracle runs another big race, and that's kind of why I'm using her as my top pick. I love the Mendelssohn out of Mendelssohn here, and kind of has a little bit of smart strike on the other end of things. Was a big purchase for Windstar Farms. So I think this horse should set up and run really, really well. Second pick, love the name, Dorth Vader for Miguel Vasquez and Michael Yates. Out of Gervin here, owned by John Ropes. Finished first last time out in the Devon of Dale at Gulfstream Park, going a mile. Posted an 87 speed figure. Not really anything to write home about. Kind of just a normal day at the track. Nothing too speedy, wasn't a fast pace or anything like that, um, but did the job there. One also in the Sandpiper and the Juvenile Sprint, one at Tampa and one at Gulfstream, going a little bit shorter. So kind of getting that stretch out should be interesting to see if Darth Vader prefers that distance. Huge last time out in the Devon Dale at 46 to 1. And so not going to get those odds today, however, but one to definitely use. Next, another Todd Pletcher, and automatically is our third pick in the Forward Gal Grade 3 Stakes, finished third, beaten by Red Carpet Ready. Um, Stretching back out to this mile and 16th in here. Last time ran in a mile and a 16th, finished 7th. The time before that, finished first. So definitely can get the distance. So we will see. Todd Pletcher, this will be the third start this horse makes for Todd Pletcher. 5-2 lifetime. So he's definitely putting this horse in here for good reasons. Put in a good piece of work back on March 25th, went 49 and 5, breezing, going 4 furlongs in there. Another one to probably use would be Sacred Wish with George Weaver and Javier Castellano. Kind of under the radar horse, just broke its maiden, coming in here with George as first time trainer. Out of Not This Time, purchased for 50,000. One that looks to be getting better and that looks to have a big upside coming into spring and summer running. Long shot pick right now is 10 to 1 for Grand Motion. Affirmative Lady out of Arrogate, was purchased for 400,000 back on the 2-year-old OBS spring sale. Broke maiden, or ran in a maiden, broke its maiden last time out, I guess you would say. $84,000 with Junior Alvarado aboard at Gulfstream Park, going the same distance that they will be running on Saturday. Has ran in 2 stakes races at Aqueduct. Um, I believe all of them were, well, the one was on good dirt and the other one was actually sloppy. So we'll see what this horse will be able to do in here. Kind of like it for a 10 to 1 price. Um, like the connections, and big kind of improving or getting its feet under it in that last win out on its last start. Two more. Race 13, we're going a mile on a turf for 4-year-olds, the Appleton Stakes. We have our top pick steady on another Todd Pletcher and another Rad Ortiz. I've already called it. They're going to have a big day. So they're teaming up in almost every race. Here we are with the pioneer out of the Nile horse. Second last time out in the, I believe it was the Can Turf Grade 3 or the Can-Am Turf 3. Beat out Fort Washington, who was also in here. Um, Posted a big 108 speed figure career best, looks to be in good form and has a big speed kick. Should be interesting to see what this horse will do with its speed and what Irad will do if it wants to set right off the pace. Seems to be what it's used to doing. Um, and I think that's kind of the best bet if it can find somebody to go out early and then it's going to press the pace. Fort Washington is a horse that likes to come from the back. So if it gets a big um, or a fast pace, this horse definitely is one that will be able to run them down. If you look at the past 2 starts, started off slow, stepped slow, a slow start. So this horse needs a good start. It doesn't need to bury itself back. Hopefully, Jose Ortiz has this figured out, as the past 2 times he has buried this horse deep in the field. Get a good start, and this horse should run big. Third, a lighter raced horse coming in with 5 starts. 3 wins will be Striker at 8 to 1 for Josie Carroll. Um, Antonio Gallardo gets the mount here. Has some stakes races or graded stakes races under its belt. Not fairly well in those, so definitely is going to have to take a big step forward coming in. Put a pretty good speed figure up on the board last time out in its last win. Seems to be maybe getting right, fitting in with some of these other horses, putting in some pretty good workouts as well, shaping up for this race. Long shot going far outside with the Roaring Forties at 15-1. Sean Brigmahan gets the mount 1 for 1 so far in 2023 in the Sunshine Turf at Gulfstream Park, going a mile and a 16th. Um, Kind of just an average run, got to the lead, wired the field, nobody caught it. So look for this horse to maybe try to get out to the lead, set that early pace, and try to do the same thing. All right. Here we are, race 14, the highlight of the card, the Florida Derby, the Curlin Florida Derby, presented by Hillendale Farms, a Grade 1 Kentucky Derby prep race for 3-year-olds. Purse is $1 million coming in. They're going a mile and an eighth. And of course, we have the Kentucky Derby favorite right now in Forte. 4-5 on the morning line. Really hasn't done anything wrong. 5 wins in 6 career starts, 4 wins in its last 4 starts, winning the Fountain of Youth, the Breeders' Cup Juvenile, the Breeders' Cup Futurity, and the Hopeful. 3 Grade 1 wins already under its belt, and a Grade 2 coming in here looking to pick up another graded stakes win. Career best speed figure last time out, seems to be improving, continuing to improve. The only thing that could go wrong is just a bad trip. However, this horse is already in the Kentucky Derby, so really a bad trip is nothing, just a morale killer for these connections. So I don't foresee that happening. I think Todd Pletcher and the connections of Rapoli Stables put this horse in here to win, and I believe that's what it will do. Not much else. Everybody knows about this horse. I can't sit here and handicap and say this is what it did last time. This is what it did the previous race. Everybody has seen it. Sits mid pack, boom, late kick, pulls away from the field. There's Forte in a nutshell. So we're going to look at who could beat Forte or who's going to run second to Forte. Um, and my pick to possibly spoil or run second to Forte is, where did I put it? Not Mr. Peak. I guess I didn't mark it. Um, would possibly be Fort Bragg. Yes, Tim Yakatine trained. Joel Rosario gets the mount. It is from Bob Baffert's barn previously, but now it's with Tim Yakatine because of the whole Kentucky Derby issues and stuff like that. So, been beaten out by, I guess you could say it's stablemate and practical move. Um, So it really hasn't done much, just because I guess it's ran against the better Baffert or the better Yakatine horse, depending on what you want to look at. So if one is coming into play, spoiler, this would be the one that would do it, possibly. Um, the other one that I'm going to use is going to be Cyclone Mischief, with Dale Romans and Javier Castellano. Has ran against Forte. Last time out was finished third. Also ran against Rocket Can, who, if you watched our Arkansas Derby video, is considered in there. Again, one that again struggled against Kentucky Derby competition. Coming in here, 8-1. Got to try it just because it has some decent speed figures. And we'll see if Javier Castellano can get this horse set up where it needs to be. Third pick, going with, I think Mage was my second pick. Mage being my third pick in here, and also my long shot play in Mage, just because it's lighter raced. Ran against um, Forte and Cycle Mission in the Fountain of Youth, finished fourth. And that's just kind of where it was. Javier Castellano gets off of this one. Luis Saez gets aboard for Gustav in here. Big connections in here, coming out of Good Magic for 50,000, was purchased for 290,000. However, lighter raced, posted on 88 when it broke its maiden in an $84,000, then goes straight to the Fountain of Youth and gets beat by Forte, finishing fourth. So looking at his career starts, not very bad. You can say, okay, we broke our maiden and we went straight to the Fountain of Youth and placed fourth. Not bad. And we improved. We improved our speed figures. We improved our time, however you want to look at it from the connection standpoint. So obviously this horse could take another step forward in here, run a big race, possibly, not necessarily, beating Forte or running with Forte yet again. And probably throw in Dubian Yell or Dubinell Another one out of Good Magic, purchased for 400,000 for Danny Gargan and Jose Ortiz. Was definitely obliterated in the Sam F. Davis Grade 3 Stakes race at Tampa. Was beat out by Litigate in there and finished 8th as the post time favorite. Ouch. However, in the Remsen, the Grade 2 did finish first, so does have a little bit of Kentucky Derby points, looking to gain a little bit extra Kentucky Derby points. So definitely one to maybe consider use as an underneath that needs just a few more Kentucky Derby points to get enough to get in. There's plenty of long shot picks in here to use. Um, One that I was kind of hung up on possibly is Nautical Star with some late speed and one to use as an under. One last time out in a $90,000 maiden. Again, another lighter raced horse coming in with a big 93 speed figure last outing. Mr. Peaks has a little bit of early speed to him to like to get out to the early lead here, and one that Forte may have to catch, or the one the Forte will set its sights on. Second last time out, and it's $84,000 maiden, so really hasn't been one that's broke its maiden, but is trying something in here for Kentucky Derby stuff. Was trained by Ian Wilkes, gets Saffy Joseph as the trainer now. So those trainer changes always are interesting to see. Put in a pretty good piece of work back on March 24th. We will see Mr. Peaks, another one to possibly use for your underneaths. And West Coast Cowboy, I believe, was the other one, another one that put in a good piece of work. This one is also trained by Saffy Joseph with Sonny Leon. Has been big prices in its last 2 races after it broke its maiden, went straight to the Holy Bull, and kind of finished third. Not bad, beat out by Rocket Can. There posted its career best speed figure and looks to take another step forward here. So a couple horses to definitely use for your unders: West Coast Cowboy, Mage, Mr. Peaks, Nautical Star, and of course, tying in the ever famous Forte as the top pick for the Florida Derby. So there's our picks for the Florida Derby at Gulfstream Park for Saturday, April 1st. Make sure to like the video, subscribe down below, hit the bell, turn on your notifications so you get all of our Kentucky Derby preps and Kentucky Derby videos right at your fingertips and notifications. Also, down below in the description, you will find the full betting guide for all the races on Gulfstream Park Florida Derby Day, with all of our best bets, next contenders, and log shots. We also have a couple of discount codes down below for some Kentucky Derby gear and Flavier, which is a whiskey subscription, so make sure to check those out. And we hope that you are a big winner on Florida Kentucky Derby Prep Day. Good luck.